So this lesson, we're going to simplify algebraic expressions. And when we simplify algebraic expressions, you're going to have 3 steps to do that, okay? The first step is remove parentheses by multiplying factors. So when I say remove parentheses by multiplying factors, what do you think that's called?
Fractures.
Nope. Here, I'll show you what it looks like.
Oh my god.
Is that an E?
Mm-hmm. Remove parentheses.
Remuffled.
So what that looks like So if I give you a problem like this, and I want you to simplify this algebraic expression. Now, it's an algebraic expression because it doesn't have an equal sign. So we're just trying to simplify it. If I want to remove the parentheses by multiplying, I'm going to do this right here. What's that called? Distributive property. So basically, remove parentheses by multiplying factors, that's called distributive property.
This is actually pretty easy.
Yep. It's going to be a combination of 3 lessons all in one here. Because a lot of it is review from what you did last year. Did I see a single tear fall from your right eye on that?
That's right, you did.
Okay. So that's your first step. After you do that, the second step is you just go and combine like terms by adding coefficients. So step 2. Combine like terms. Now, are you going to always add your coefficients? It should be by operations on coefficients, but I put adding coefficients. But basically, if it tells you to subtract the coefficients, it means subtract. So you have to pay attention to what the operation is telling you to do. Now, when I say coefficients, what does that mean? What's coefficient? What is a coefficient?
Okay, give me a second, I'll look it up.
You're getting that confused with...
A number used to multiply a pair.
So basically, it's the number right in front of the variable, right? So we combine like terms by combining coefficients, by adding or subtracting coefficients. So that's step 2. Step 3, after we combine like terms with coefficients, what are we going to combine then? What's after coefficients that you combine? Huh? Keep going.
Like terms.
Variable.
Constant.
Constants, right. What are constants?
Number by himself.
There you go. So simplifying algebraic expressions is going to be 3 basic steps. The first step in short term, distributive property. So you're going to distribute. Second term, combine like terms. Third, combine constants. Now, when you simplify algebraic expressions, you don't want to just write them in any random order. You're always going to write them in order from, what do you think? How do you think you're going to write these out? No. We're going to put the terms in alphabetical order. Meaning exponents then from greatest to least. Right? That's backwards. We always...
Is it supposed to be exponents?
And then the last thing you write will be your constants. And I know right now this is just a bunch of wordage. Like, what does this all mean? which you'll see shortly. So basically, when you go to write your algebraic expression, you need to make sure that you're writing the terms in alphabetical order. Meaning if they have variables, you're going to make sure you put those variables in alphabetical order. But if those variables have exponents, you also have to make sure you start with the greatest exponent and write them from the greatest to the least. And then the last term that you write is going to be the constant, the number that's by itself. All right?
What if you took that crab out of something?
What?
What if the crab's like just frozen in there and you break it open and he starts crawling?
That would be a little creepy. That crab has been in there for at least, 8 years.
Oh.
That's how long I've had it, and before then, who knows?
I think it's
You think it'll be okay if we just like bust it out of there? You think it'll start like...
maybe.
Okay, so we're going to look at example number 1. So next example number 1, it says, the blank property takes place when you have a number, variable, or both outside a set of parentheses, and you multiply the number or variable on the outside with all on the inside. What is that called? All those words basically mean to do what? Distribute. So the distributive property, so distributive is what needs to go down there. If I can spell.
The one day I'm looking forward to this year is Pi A.
Yeah?
Oh,
I had-
I had practice after that.
Do we get a party like?
Well, I don't know. We'll have to see how we do. The distributive property takes place when you have a variable or number on the both or inside, outside. Basically, you're multiplying the factors to get rid of the parentheses. So we're going to look at these next 3 examples and solve them together. So example number 1, I have 6a times 7 minus 3b. Now, distributive property, I always look at it as you have this number on the outside, or a student told me years ago, it's like a mailman. And that mailman is right here, and this is the block. He's got to go to each house on the street or on that block to deliver the mail, okay? So you're going to take the number on the outside of the parentheses and multiply it by everything on the inside. So that's going to be 6a times 7. So what's 6a times 7?
42A.
42a, good. Nice job, way to remember that variable. Then you're going to take 6a times negative, don't forget to take that sign with it, negative 3b. So what's 6 times negative 3? Negative 18. Now we have to worry about our variables. What's a times b?
A times B,
ab. Can I write them ba?
No.
No, because you want them in
Order.
alphabetical order. So there you distributed. Now, right now we're just really kind of focusing on distributive property, but you need to look at, can you combine any of these like terms? Are there any like terms up here? No. So that's my final answer. I've simplified that algebraic expression. There is nothing else that I can do to it. How many terms do I have up here, by the way? 2. Nice. Good.
Is it exponent or is it a expression or equation?
What is it?
That's a real question.
What's the answer to that real question?
Josh, what's the answer?
To what?
Expression or equation?
Expression.
Why?
There's no equal sign.
Good. You have any other questions that we can ask about this and answer?
No.
Oh, come on. What's the coefficients?
I wasn't even prepared.
Coefficients?
What are they? You don't have to
Well, let me just Google it.
And my final answer, what's my coefficients?
42.
And? Perfect. You guys are awesome.
Yep.
Moving right along. Oh my gosh. I have 2x.
What?
That's not right.
That's not right. Why is that not right?
2x.
2x.
What should it be?
2x cubed.
2x cubed.
What?
Sorry. My notes
Yeah.
didn't translate right. So 2x cubed minus 2. Your notes are fine on your paper.
Yeah.
It was just my PowerPoint. Okay, so I have 2x cubed minus 2 times x plus 9. Do you see any number that I can multiply with parentheses? Are there any parentheses up here that I can get rid of by using distributive property? Yeah, so what are you going to distribute, Josh? And where are you going to distribute that at?
To the x and the 9.
So the first thing I'm going to do is bring down that 2x cubed so I don't forget it. And then I'm going to start distributing. Josh said I'm going to take negative 2 times x, which equals,
Negative 2x.
and then I distribute negative 2 with that positive 9, which equals, Nice. All right, after I distribute, my step 2 says, look to see if I can combine like terms. Do I have any like terms up here?
No.
No. But I have some of the same variables.
Yeah, but not this one.
Yeah, but not the exponents. Because these two variables here do not have the same exponents, they are not like terms. So here's my final answer for this expression. How many terms does this expression have?
Trace.
Trace.
And it's in the whole expression.
Moving right along. Negative 2 times 8h squared plus 3 plus h squared. What am I going to distribute here, Emily?
Negative 2,
And I'm going to distribute it to what?
8h2,
And?
3.
Okay, so go ahead and do that for me.
Negative 16,
So negative 16. Don't forget your variable and exponent.
h cubed.
Squared.
Oh.
Okay, then what?
Uh,
So after I distribute the negative 2 times 8h squared.
Negative 22.
Oh, wait, what did you do there?
I said negative 2 times
Oh, and then you took negative 2 times 3 and you got what?
negative 22.
You took negative 2 times 3?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Do that again. Negative 2 times 3. Negative 6.
I did.
And then I bring down the rest of my problem there. Okay. I distributed. Am I done? Sorry. I surprised you? Surprise tag.
No.
No, I'm not done. Why not?
You gotta combine like terms.
Okay, what are my like terms up here?
H2 and negative 16 H2.
Okay. Anytime a variable is by itself, what do I imagine is up in front of it?
1.
A 1. So now I have negative 16h squared plus 1h squared. What's that going to equal?
15. Negative 15.
Negative 15h squared. Is that my final answer?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
You sure?
You can't combine.
What am I forgetting?
Oh, well, negative 6.
Yeah, bring down that negative 6. And then that's my final answer.
No, we're good.
Oh, you guys are going to be just fine on today's lesson. I think you're fine.
Yeah, so I'm pretty good at this. So I'm just,
Nah. Can't put your head down. You don't want to lose your participation points.
it's fine.
You want to get your 5 points today.
It's fine.
No, no, no. It's not fine. It's too early in the year to start losing them.
I'm heavy.
Your head hurts today? I'm sorry to hear that.
Algebra will make it better. Algebra will make it better.
Exactly.
Whoa.
Best method.
The blank property is when you evaluate or simplify or plug in a number for the variable given and solve. When you plug a number in, what is that called? So, another way to look at it, if I'm not here, they're going to get a replacement for me. If I'm sick or a substitute, right? They're going to get a substitute for me. So if we are plugging in a number for a variable that they give us, it's going to be what?
Substitute.
Yeah, so the substitution property is when you evaluate, simplify, or plug in a number for the variable given and solve. So substitution property. Chance, I don't mind if you put your head down if you have a headache, but I do want you writing though, okay? I don't care if you keep your head down, but I want you to make sure you get all your notes. Okay, so the examples that we're going to do now has to do with the substitution property. So we're going to combine distributive property, which we did for part 1, along with substituting. So our examples say evaluate or simplify when a equals negative 2, b equals 0, h equals 1, and x equals 4. So they give us these variables and they give us numbers that they want these variables to represent. So number 4, we're going to go ahead and substitute. So anytime I see an A or a B, I'm going to look up here and see what numbers I substitute. When I go to substitute, I make sure I put parentheses around my variables that I'm filling in. So the first step that I want to see you guys do on your paper is this here. So I'm going to put 6, I'm going to have a parentheses, 7 minus 3, parentheses, parentheses, parentheses. I don't want you to plug anything in there yet. I just want you guys to take the variables out and put parentheses where the variables should be. Okay? Then the next step, what do I substitute for the variable a? -2. And then what do I substitute for the variable b?
0.
Okay. Now, before I can distribute, what do I have to do here?
6 times 8, 2.
Okay, so what's 6 times -2 going to equal?
-12.
So I have -12. Then I'm going to bring in my parentheses. And then when I go to do my parentheses, I'm going to write down 7 minus 3, parentheses 0, 0. Okay? Now, there's two ways that I can solve this, right? The first way I can solve it is distributing, or the second way I can solve it is by order of operations. Does not matter. Which would you guys prefer to do? Distribute or order of operations? Okay, order of operations. So order of operations, what would you do first, Ben?
Times 3 by the 0 or so.
Which is going to be?
0.
So now I have -12 times 7 minus 0. Do I need to even put that -0 in there?
No.
Nah. So basically I just have -12 times 7 at this point. What's -12 times 7? I think I have it, but my math isn't always the best in my head, so somebody help me out. So -12 times 7, -84. Y'all agree? Okay. So while we're learning the process, when you go to substitute, put parentheses in place of the variables. It's important that you don't lose that positive or negative sign. So what I mean by that, again, we're going to come to this next problem. I'm going to write 2 parentheses to the third power minus 2 So what am I going to fill in for my x?
4.
And then, oh, both x's here, right? So I'm going to fill in a 4 and a 4. Now here comes that prior knowledge. Here comes that knowledge that we learned last week. I have to start simplifying my expression by order of operations. So according to order of operations, where would I start?
2 times 4.
Huh?
2 times 4.
2 times 4. Ooh, no, not yet. There's 2 ways that you can actually do this, you guys. How would I would do it? Ben, maybe.
I would just distribute the -2 with the x and 9.
Okay, so we want to go ahead and distribute here? Okay, let's do that. So if we distribute, we're going to take -2 times 4 and -2 plus 9, which means I'm going to bring all of this here down so I don't forget about it. So what's -2 times 4?
-2 times 4.
Okay. And then if I take -2 times positive 9?
-18.
-18. Okay. What's my next step going to have to be then?
2 times 4.
No. Why not? Why is that wrong? Why wouldn't I take 2 times 4?
Exponents first.
Yeah, I got to get rid of the exponents first. Okay. So I got rid of my parentheses, but now I need to get rid of the exponents. So what's 4 cubed going to be? What's 4 times 4 times 4?
16.
Yeah, right?
4.
So 4 times 4 is 16. 16 times 4 is what?
64.
64. So I'm going to bring that down. Now, when I bring that down, what do I need to make sure I put around it? Because I need to make sure I remember to multiply. Okay? Order of operations. Don't you guys love how math builds upon?
No.
Like you think you're done with the lesson, but you're not. That lesson just keeps going and going and going. So what do I do next here?
Interchange.
2 times 6.
Perfect. Which equals
128.
128, you say? And then our final step, what can we do from left to right?
128 minus 8.
Then what?
And minus it by 18.
Yep. I'm going to let you guys do that on all one step.
108.
108, y'all agree with them?
I thought it was 102.
So if I take 128 minus 8, I get 120. Then 120 minus 18,
Let's do it.
10.
2.
Y'all agree? Any questions on that?
I just kind of like blinked out.
But did you come together at the end with us?
Yeah.
Okay. As long as you met us together at the end. Oh my gosh. All right, last one. Ooh, this one looks like fun, doesn't it?
No.
All right, let's start writing it out. So every time I see a variable, I'm going to put parentheses for now. Oh, that's an ugly 8. I got to redo that.
I'm so tired.
Say you guys are all yawning like it's a Monday. Oh, it is, huh? All right, what do I plug in for my H?
1.
So for each one, I'm going to plug in a 1. How do I start this one? Can I just start by automatically distributing?
No.
No. What am I going to have to do first? My exponent. So inside my parentheses here, I can't just distribute this negative 2 times 8, this negative 2 times 1 squared, because I first have to get rid of my exponent in here. So what's 1 squared going to equal?
1.
Huh? 1. And then can I go ahead and just take that 8 times 1? So I have basically negative 2. I got rid of the 1 squared, and it's just 8. Or excuse me, it's just 1. So now what do I do? Can I distribute now? Can I distribute that negative 2 times 8, negative 2 times 1, then negative 2 times positive 3? No, not yet. So what am I going to have to do next in the parentheses before I can distribute?
8 times 1.
Okay, which equals?
8.
Okay, now can I distribute?
Yeah.
Finally. So now I can take negative 2 and distribute to both of the numbers inside the parentheses. So what's negative 2 times 8? Anybody?
16.
Negative 16. Negative 2 times positive 3.
Negative 6.
Okay? And then I bring down my 1 squared. According to order of operations, what do I have to do next? Now that I've distributed, to continue simplifying this expression, what's my next step going to be? Nah?
Carry top to 1.
Yeah, carrot top to the 1. I have to do my exponents. So what's 1 squared? 1. Now, Josh, what can I do? Working left to right. So if I'm doing adding, subtracting, whichever comes first, left to right, that means I'm just going to take negative 16 minus 6, which is,
And negative 22.
and then negative 22 plus 1 equals,
-21.
and that's going to be my final answer. Whoa, I bet you guys want to see that, huh? You got it? Whew, good deal. Was it this? There was 1 hour when I clicked back on, it was just gone.
That was bad but funny.
I wanted to cry. It made me so sad.
All that work.
Right? Okay, we all have it? All right, last little part of our notes here. Simplifying by blank-like terms means that you can add or subtract variables and numbers that have the same exponential number, such as 2a squared plus 6a squared equals 8a squared. Because these are considered like terms, I can combine them. So what's 2a squared plus 6a squared? 8a squared. Are these two numbers equal?
Yes.
Yeah, so that means we did it correctly. So what am I going to fill in the blank for my line here? Simplifying by
Combining.
combining like terms. There we go. So that's your final step. So now we have all our steps here together. The only thing that we're not having to do right now is substituting, but we're still going to distribute, and then we're going to combine like terms so that we can simplify our expression. Okay, example number 7 here. First question I ask myself, are there any numbers here that I can distribute? Yeah, what is it?
6K.
Okay, so I'm going to distribute right here. So 6k squared times 5 equals what? 30. Okay, then I distribute the 6k squared times what?
-3.
-3k. So what's that going to equal? What's 6 times negative 3?
Would be 18k squared or kk squared.
Negative 18.
Okay, so negative 18. Now I have 2 k's here, and I have 1 more k here. So how many k's am I going to have altogether? 3. So it's going to be to the third. Okay? And then I bring down my minus 9k squared. So after I distribute, I look to see if I have any like terms. Do I have any like terms up here?
Yes, you do.
Yes, I do. What are they, Ben?
30k2, negative 9k2.
Okay, I'm going to ask that you quit saying K2 because this is what you're saying. That means something very different than up above. Okay? So let's say, make sure we say to the power of 2 or squared. So we have 30k squared minus 9k squared are like terms. What about this negative 18k cubed? Does that have a like term?
No.
No, it's by itself. Now, if we remember, though, back to the very start of our notes, it says that when I go to combine like terms and I go to write my final answer, I need to do so in order based on the variables being in alphabetical order, and also the variables have to start from what? So, which one's bigger, squared or to the third? So I'm going to bring that guy down first. So when I bring this term down first, I have to make sure I take that negative sign with it. So negative 18k cubed. And then I combine my like terms. So 30k squared minus 9k squared. Try it again.
21.
21. What?
Oh, I was.
And is that going to be a positive or a negative?
Positive.
Positive. And that's going to be your final answer. You don't have any other more, you don't have any more like terms that you can combine. Okay? Let's take a look at example number 8.
The greatest exponent goes first.
Yep, the greatest exponent goes first. First question I ask myself, are there any numbers here that I can distribute?
Yes.
Yes, what is it?
Negative 2.
Okay? So the first thing I do, I bring down my m squared so I don't forget about it. And then I distribute. What's negative 2 times negative 6m?
Positive 12.
Positive 12 what?
And
M. Then what do I distribute?
negative 2 to positive 11.
Which equals?
Negative 2.
Okay? Now that I have distributed, my next step is to combine like terms. Do I have any like terms up here that I can combine?
No.
No. So do I have any constants that I can combine? No. So
That's a final one.
that's our final answer. That's in simplest form. Those ones are the best ones, right? Very few steps to complete. All right, here we go. Can I distribute? What number am I distributing here?
5.
Okay. Riley, what's 5 times 8c squared equal? 40 what? C squared. Okay. Dylan, what's the next number?
5 times 3.
Which equals? 15 what? And then I bring, can I distribute, does this 5 distribute to that negative 9?
No.
Why not?
It's not. It's
Correct, good. So then I just bring that negative 9 down. Okay, I distributed. Can I combine like terms?
Yes.
What are my like terms up here?
40 and
40c
15.
squared plus 15c squared.
Okay, when you combine those two terms, what does that equal?
55c squared.
And then do I have anything to combine my minus 9 with?
No.
So what do I do with it?
Straight it down.
Just bring it down, and this algebraic expression is now in simplest form. So we are going to stop there. I know we have 3 more example problems. We just won't have time to finish them.